The only sound in the house is the click, click of a computer mouse. A man is sitting at a desk in a dark room. The only light is the blue glow from the monitor. He's been at this for hours. At 1:18 a.m., he checked his email. A little later, he looked up the website for a local theater company. He browsed a university homepage. Now, at 5 a.m., he's back at it, checking train timetables. He's not in a hurry. He's comfortable. But this isn't his house. The computer he's using belongs to a man named Mikio Miyazawa, and the man at the desk is not Mikio. He's wearing clothes he found in the closet, a purple sweatshirt, clothes that belong to the family. And here is the most chilling part. He's not alone in the house. Just a few feet away, in the cold, dark rooms of this home, lie the bodies of the entire Miyazawa family. He didn't just kill them, he stayed. Think about that for a second. What kind of person does that? That one detail is baffling, but it's not the real mystery. This is. The police have his DNA, his fingerprints, the clothes he wore, the weapon he used. They have over 12,000 individual clues, and they still have no idea who he is. To understand how a man could leave his entire identity behind and still vanish, you first have to understand the family he erased. You have to see the life they built and the perfect, quiet world he was about to shatter. This was the Miyazawa family. Mikio, the father, was 44. His wife, Yasuko, was 41. They had 2 kids, Niina, 8 years old, and Rei, who was probably dreaming about the New Year's gifts he was about to get. They lived in Setagaya, a quiet, wealthy suburb of Tokyo. It's the kind of peaceful neighborhood where people feel safe. Their house was unique. It was a modern 3-story home built right on the edge of Setagaya Park. It was the perfect place to raise a family. You could hear kids playing in the park from your window, see the trees. It was idyllic. But that perfect location was also its fatal flaw. That park gave them a beautiful view, but it also gave anyone in those trees a perfect, uninterrupted look into their lives. Their home was a stage, and someone was in the audience. It was December 30th, 2000. It was the last truly normal night of their lives. The house was warm, full of plans for the New Year's holiday. Yasuko was on the phone with her mother, making plans. Niina was watching a TV show, probably arguing about bedtime. Little Rei was already asleep. It was the last night of their lives. They locked the front door, feeling safe. But someone was already outside. And they weren't looking at the door. They were looking up at a small second-floor bathroom window, the one window that faced the dark, empty park, the one window they didn't think to check. The killer didn't need to break a lock. He didn't need to smash a window. He had a different way in. He had a system, and it didn't start with a broken lock or smashed glass. It started with a quiet climb. This wasn't a smash and grab. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was a plan, and it started with a quiet climb. He doesn't fumble. He doesn't make a sound. He scales the side of the house to that second-floor bathroom window. It's almost practiced. He carefully removes the screen, places it neatly on the park ground below, and slips inside. He's in. The house is dark. The family is asleep. Police believe he went for 6-year-old Rei first. A child is the loudest, the most unpredictable, so he's the first target. He enters the room. He strangles him in his bed, silently. Step 1, complete. He moves up the stairs to the 3rd floor, but this is where the plan breaks. Mikio, the father, is awake. He hears something. He confronts the intruder on the landing. A fight breaks out. It's chaotic. It's desperate. The killer pulls out a knife, a long, thin sashimi blade. This is not a brawler's weapon. It's a slicer. It's almost surgical. Mikio is fighting for his family. The fight is brutal. Mikio is killed on the stairs. But the killer isn't finished. He's enraged. He continues up to the 3rd floor loft where Yasuko and her 8-year-old daughter Niina are sleeping in the same bed. This isn't methodical anymore. It's a frenzy. He attacks them with such force that the blade, the metal snaps. The tip breaks off, embedding itself in the wooden bed frame. That's the level of violence we're talking about. The plan is gone. This is just rage. By 11:30 p.m., the entire Miyazawa family is dead. This is where the story should end. The killer, wounded from the fight with Mikio, should flee into the night. But he doesn't. And this is the part that truly makes no sense. The frenzy is over, the rage is gone, and a new, terrifyingly calm personality takes over. This is where his real night begins. He's bleeding, so he goes to the kitchen. He opens the family's first aid kit. This is a man who just committed a horrific, violent act, and his first thought is first aid for himself, using their bandages. The audacity is breathtaking. He's covered in blood, so he changes. He takes off his own blood-stained clothes and puts on Mikio's, a purple sweatshirt. He is literally stepping into the dead man's life. He's no longer a panicked intruder. He's the new owner of the house. And he's hungry. He goes to the refrigerator. He pulls out 4 cups of ice cream, Melty Kiss. He eats all of them. He drinks an entire 2-liter bottle of barley tea. He goes through their things. He rifles through Yasuko's teaching papers. He pulls documents from Mikio's desk. He's not looking for money. He barely takes any. He's looking for something. But what? Their IDs? Personal papers? It's like he's studying them, trying to figure out who these people were that he just erased. He uses the bathroom twice, and he doesn't flush. It's an act of pure contempt. And then, sometime after 1 a.m., he gets tired. He goes to the living room, arranges the cushions on the sofa, and takes a nap. He sleeps for hours in a house full of his own victims. Who does that? When he wakes up, the sun is starting to rise, and this is when he does the one thing that feels like a scene from a dark, twisted movie. He sits down at Mikio's computer, the man we saw at the very beginning. We know now that he's doing this just feet from the family he murdered. We know that as he sat there for hours, checking emails, surfing the web, he was doing it in a house of absolute silence. At 10 a.m., 10 in the morning, with the neighborhood awake and alive, he tries to buy tickets to a play. He logs off, he grabs a few items, and walks out the front door. In broad daylight. He was so calm, so arrogant, so comfortable, that he thought his system was flawless. He thought he was a ghost. But he wasn't. He was human. He was sloppy. And that's when his entire system collapsed. He didn't just leave a mess, he left a map. And that map would lead police to a man who by all logic shouldn't exist. For 10 hours, the house was a time capsule. The killer was gone, the performance was over, and the house just waited. The quiet, normal morning of December 31st began. Yasuko's mother, Haruko, was supposed to see them. They had plans. She tried calling. No answer, just the endless, hollow ring. She tried again. That's when the probably just busy feeling starts to curdle. That's when you stop calling and you just go. By late afternoon, she walked over. She had a key. She opened the front door. The house was cold. It was too quiet. She called their names. And then she saw him, Mikio, on the stairs. Then she found the others. The movie was over. The performance was done. And the real human cost of that night came crashing down. When the police arrived, they weren't just stepping into a crime scene. They were stepping into that time capsule. And the killer, in his arrogance, had left them a map. This is the map he left behind. First, his DNA. It wasn't just a drop, it was everywhere. His blood from the fight with Mikio, his fingerprints left on the mouse, the refrigerator door, the ice cream cups. Second, his clothes. This is the one I still can't get over. He left his entire outfit, his Uniqlo jacket, his sweatshirt, his gloves, his hat. And he left them neatly folded. Who does that? It's not a clue. It's a signature, a final act of pure, chilling arrogance. Third, the weapon, the broken sashimi knife. They traced it. They knew what store it came from. Fourth, his shoes. His footprints were all over the house. They identified the brand, Slazenger, a specific model made in Korea and not sold in Japan. This was the first clue he wasn't from here. And finally, his bag. He left his hip bag. Inside, sand. Not from the park, not from a Japanese beach. Forensic analysis traced it to the Mojave Desert, near Edwards Air Force Base in California. What? How does sand from a U.S. military base in California end up in a hit bag at a murder scene in Tokyo? This map paints a perfect portrait of a ghost. The police know everything about him. They just don't know who he is. The DNA tells a story. His mother is European, likely from the Mediterranean. His father is East Asian. The sand tells a story. He has or had a connection to Southern California. The clothes tell a story. The sweatshirt was sold in limited numbers. The police know when and where it was available. They have his entire identity in an evidence box. They have his ancestry, his travel history, his shoe size. They have everything. And here is the final, impossible truth. After 25 years, after checking every database, every lead, not one of those 12,000 clues has ever matched anyone. He doesn't exist. He's a man with a detailed past, but no record. A man who left his face and his history all over their home and simply dissolved. It's been 25 years now. The detectives who worked this case, they're old. Many have retired. It is the one case that haunts them, the one they should have solved. The reward money, 20 million yen, sits untouched. The posters are faded, but they're still up. And the house is still there. It's preserved by police, slowly being swallowed by the park. It's not a house anymore. It's a 25-year-old question made of wood and glass. The killer is 25 years older. He'd be in his 40s or 50s. Is he dead? Or, and this is the thought that stays with me, is he just normal? Is he a man who went back to his life? A man who gets coffee, goes to work, pays his bills, and just has this one 10-hour secret? We are left where we started, in a dark room, with the sound of a mouse. Click, click. The Miyazawa family was just living their lives. They were inside their routine. The killer was just looking for a way in. The most dangerous thing in the world is a normal day seen by the wrong pair of eyes.